As a coach for the Master Circle and coaching chiropractors, literally hundreds of chiropractors over the past few years, I get asked a question on a regular basis about success. Is there a formula for success? So the answer is absolutely yes. There is a formula for success, and successful chiropractors have a few things in common. Number one, successful chiropractors and successful people in general all have a very clear-cut, laser-focused vision. The second thing they have in common is they have an incredible work ethic. They work very, very hard. It's rare that you find somebody that becomes hugely successful without putting time and effort in. I suppose it does happen. I have really never met anybody like that, but ultimately it takes a good work ethic. And third, it takes a belief that ultimately you're going to achieve your vision. So I broke down the formula for success, and it starts with desire. And this desire is a burning desire. It's a desire that occupies your day. It's a desire that is in the forefront of your mind every single day, every minute of every day, where your goals sit in the forefront of everything you do. So on top of this incredible desire, this burning desire for success in whatever you're doing, comes determination. And determination is the ability to put one foot in front of the other, constantly moving forward, never, ever, ever looking back, never, ever quitting, and never, ever giving up. Knowing that to give up is the number one self-esteem killer that there is. And one thing that we all need to move in a forward direction is good self-esteem. So we start with desire, we back it up with determination, always moving in a forward direction towards your goals. Next, we back that up with ambition. Ambition is the ability to go right, left, under, over, or through your obstacles, to make your obstacles into stepping stones, to make your stepping stones into the springboard to your success, taking advantage of all obstacles. On top of ambition comes enthusiasm. Now, enthusiasm is the energy that fuels your jet to success. It literally is what empowers you and powers your growth. So enthusiasm is critical, and we all know that satisfied patients refer from here to there, but it's the enthusiastic patient that becomes an evangelist for your practice. So enthusiasm is really, really important, and one of the metaphors I use for that is going to the restaurant with your wife or your significant other. You go to a restaurant and you have a beautiful steak dinner, you have a nice bottle of wine, you have a nice Caesar salad, nice waiter charges you $100, and you leave. Well, do you have a reason to refer? Well, probably not. If somebody came up to you and asked you, how was that restaurant? You might say, yeah, that was good, it was fine. But you wouldn't be inspired to necessarily go out and refer. Let's go to a different restaurant for a second. We go to a different restaurant, we have a beautiful steak dinner, we have a nice Caesar salad, we have a nice bottle of wine, nice waiter. But we also have a busboy and a sommelier. And before dinner is up, the chef comes out and says to you, hey, how was your dinner? Make sure everything was okay. And then ends up buying you dessert. And instead of $100, it's $75. Now when you leave the restaurant, are you inspired to refer? And I'm going to tell you absolutely, because you feel like you got more than you paid for and you left better than you walked in. So you become an evangelist and you go out and you're telling everybody. So enthusiasm is huge as part of your success. And by the way, attitude and enthusiasm is contagious. The question is yours worth catching? Next, on top of enthusiasm comes courage. Because not every day is eggs and bacon. Some days there's nothing shaking. And you have to have enough courage to get from today until tomorrow. And then the tomorrow after that. And then the tomorrow after that. So courage is very, very important. On top of courage comes faith. Faith in your product, your service, and ideas. Faith in your inherent ability to achieve. Faith in the adjustment, faith in chiropractic, and faith in the good of all things. On top of faith comes optimism. And optimism is seeing the silver lining in every cloud, finding good in everything. I tell a story about my children and the fires that we had in Southern California. And there's very little that you could think of as optimistic or finding good in that. But I'll tell you, there is a possibility, and I'm going to just share it with you. I was upstairs in my office working for the Master Circle at the time, coaching. And the fires came through Southern California, San Diego specific. And I couldn't see out of my windows maybe 10, 15 feet. I mean, literally, the smog was that thick. And we had already gotten our 8 o'clock in the morning call from the police department saying you had to evacuate. It was a voluntary evacuation. Well, about 2 hours later, they called back and said, okay, this is a mandatory evacuation. Everybody has to leave. you have a half hour. So I had already told my children to take whatever that was important to them and put it into the cars. Anything that they wanted, we had several vehicles, fill the cars up. So my youngest son comes back to me and says, Dad, the cars are filled up. I said, okay, great. Did you leave any room for mom's stuff and grandma's stuff? And he said, absolutely. Matter of fact, we filled the cars with mom's stuff and the house stuff and the family stuff and grandma's stuff. We packed our stuff in our backpacks. And I was like, wow, that was pretty unselfish and pretty wild. I'm glad that my wife and I must have done something right for them to make that decision. So my wife called me later, and we were about ready to evacuate, and she was all upset and worried about everything that was going on. And I just relayed that story that, in fact, here we were packing things up and asking the kids to get things ready, and the kids actually got things ready for us. So I think that can show you that even in the times that look the worst, often there can be glimmers of light and optimism. Because one thing I learned is that my wife and I did something right with those kids. On top of optimism comes love. And that's the last part of this formula for success. And it's the thing that comes the easiest to chiropractors. Chiropractors really have a very easy time loving their patients, loving their community. But love is what glues it together. It's the cement that glues everything together. All there is love. And I know that's a quote, but it's a fact. If you put all those things together, from a burning desire right through to the loving factor, there's no way in the world that you won't be enormously successful.